How's it going, guys? I'm the Cardinal, and welcome to another edition of the Cardinal Review. Today we're going to be talking about a little game I like to call Bioshock. This is not just the first one. As it says on the box, it is the collection. So, Bioshock, the collection, just released for the Nintendo Switch, Aruni, and I had the pleasure of playing Bioshock 1, Bioshock 2, and Bioshock Infinite. It's not Bioshock 3. But for all intents and purposes, yes, Bioshock 3. Now, it's a sweet little package, right? $49.99. You get all three games. Now, the downside is that it is partially on the cartridge. So basically the cartridge comes with a little pieces of the beginning of each game, and then you have to download a big freaking patch. That's not the part I was thrilled about. But we'll get there. Now, for those of you who don't know, Bioshock is a series of games that are first-person Metroid-esque survival horror adventure action looting rotten food out of toilets game, and also a superpower fantasy. Yeah, you know, your typical game. But yeah, I mean, most games revolve around, you know, you have the use of a firearm on the right trigger and the use of plasmids, which are your superpowers, on the left triggers. And it's first person, you go through, and you're usually navigating a very mysterious and strange place from the past. The first game takes place in the 60s. The second game also takes place in the 60s, I believe. And then the third game takes place in 1917, I believe. If I'm wrong, please let me know. Most people consider especially the first game to be one of the greatest games ever made of this, last generation. And the third game is also revered very highly, Bioshock Infinite. I named the main character, his name is Booker DeWitt. I named my son after this character, so you could say I'm a fan. But you probably know what Bioshock is by now. If you're here watching this, I think you might know what Bioshock is, even though I just kind of explained it to you. So, really what you're here for is, well, Robin, look, I've played Bioshock on the PS3. I played it on the Xbox 360. I played it on the PC. I played it on my refrigerator. I played it on the PS4. I played it on the Xbox One. And, well, you know, motherfucker, how does it look on the Switchy? How does it run on the Switchy? Well, I got good news and bad news, okay? The good news is Bioshock 1 plays exceptionally well on the Switch. And to keep in mind here, I played a little bit on TV, but mostly I played this in handheld. Because, look, come on. I mean, if we're going to play Bioshock on the TV, you're going to buy it for another console, let's be honest. The whole reason you buy this is to play it handheld. The handheld mode for Bioshock 1 and 2, because they have the same exact engine, so they run, I mean, it's pretty much the same. Both games run so smooth and look so good in handheld mode. Mind you, I played these, I have my regular Switch and my Switch Lite. I played these on the regular Switch, the Switch Lite, you know, both handheld because both are different size screens, and then on TV. This game looks great. I mean, it looks so good in handheld mode. I mean, I can't believe how well this game actually translated. And, you know, that's fair. The game came out in, what, like 2007? 2007, I believe, the first game. So, yeah, of course, it should probably run well on the Switch, you know, but it looks great. And this game did rely on so rely so much on environment and atmosphere, and that all carries over here. We have such a good, the audio all comes through crisp. I played through it with my Arctis One headphones. Everything sounded great. Like I said, there's nothing lost here. I mean, you have a massive classic game that you can play handheld now. You know, joins the leagues of, you know, The Witcher 3 and Skyrim, and, you know, I mean, this is like one of those games. It's just like that dream that, like, God, I can't believe, you know, if you would tell, you know, us in 2007 this game would be playable handheld, you'd probably be like, no way, this game is amazing, it looks so good, how could it be in a handheld? That's crazy. But it's here, folks, and it's here to stay. So Bioshock 1 and 2 look fantastic and run fantastic. There's nothing really negative to say about them. I really didn't notice anything bad at all, which is kind of crazy. And I bought these all kind of dropped on the same day, so no review copies were sent out, so no one had these for review copies. No one got them early, everyone got them the same day, so that was always kind of a red flag, right? And 2K also released the Borderlands collection and the XCOM games, and you know, they just sort of released them on the day of. They didn't have review copies, so a lot of people were like, ugh, they might be bad ports, you know, because they're not giving out, you know, early copies. I'm here to say that's not the case. Not a bad port. Great ports. Really surprisingly great. Now, I know you're probably all asking, well, yeah, of course, Bioshock 1 and 2 run great. Those games are old. And then, you know, Bioshock Infinite, which came out in 2013, that was the game that even pushed PS3s and Xbox 360s to their limit. And we know the infamous year of 2013, not infamous, just famous, because we had The Last of Us, we had Bioshock Infinite, we had Grand Theft Auto 5, you know, it was one of those just monumental gaming years. And then, of course, we had the launches of the PS4 and the Xbox One. So Infinite, I remember distinctly in the on the PS3 version, there was like textures were very muddy. Like this game was very clearly made for PC, and you know, those versions didn't even, you know, they ran well, of course. Frame weight. I think I'm having a stroke. Frame rate ran great, of course, and but the textures, like, you know, up under scrutiny when you'd get right up on them, because it's a first-person game. So, you know, if there's a poster on the wall, you're going to walk up and read it, and you're right there. So textures have to be good in a first-person game, and they weren't there. So this was the one I was really wondering about. I was like, how's Infinite going to look, especially in handheld? And I'm here to say it's good. It feels better than the PS3, Xbox 360 versions. Obviously not as good as the PS4 version or Xbox One version. It's still pretty amazing that this game runs as well as it does. Again, frame rate is solid as hell. I had no issues with and that, especially that intro. There's this intro scene where there's this huge crowd of people and this big fight breaks out, and there's all these guys running around, and there's lots of stuff happening. And there was no frame drops that I noticed at all. It ran pretty smooth. The only thing that was more noticeable here, of course, because Infinite is much more, because, you know, the other games take place underwater in these, you know, more tight, like claustrophobic locations, whereas Infinite takes place in these kind of big, more like arena-based fights, and because the city, it's a city in the sky, okay? It's called Columbia, okay? And it's pretty, you know, there's a lot going on in that opening section, and I didn't see any dropped frames, but what I did notice is, since you can see further in the distance in this game, and there is like that, it's more bright and less gloomy, you notice that, like, you know, that draw distance, when it gets further out, it gets pretty blurry, which it started to feel a lot like playing, you know, stuff like The Witcher 3, where you notice what you're playing isn't the best version, which I didn't really notice in the other two games. But it's still just a monumental feat that all three of these games just run really great on Switch, especially, like I said, in handheld mode, which is where you should be playing them. It's really awesome. I have been enjoying it. I'm looking forward to jumping back into them. And, you know, what I really like here is this little manual that came in the box. I don't know why. It's just a manual with a few pages. But I love the manuals. Give me the manuals. I'm so tired of buying Switch games with like nothing in it. Like I open the case, there's not even reversible cover art or anything. There's nothing cool on the inside at all. It's just a cartridge and nothing else. Give me a manual, man. I miss the manuals, okay? And then also, thank you for that, 2K, but please invest in a higher gigabyte cart, because giving us these tiny carts with only a little bit of the game on them and then making me download the rest of it almost sort of defeats the purpose of owning physical media. Learn from this one company here. I don't know if you've ever heard of them. They're called CD Projekt motherfucking Red. The entirety of The Witcher 3 and all of its expansions are on this one cartridge. If they can do it, and they're still a fairly small team for what they do, out of Poland, Jesus Christ, man. Come on. Step your game up, 2K, and Capcom and all you other jerks. Use the bigger carts. Pay them more money. People are going to appreciate it. And I like little things like for instance, like I didn't mean for this to be a CD Projekt Red, you know, orgy or anything, but you open up this wonderful box and you get the game with, you know, the case, and you get all this other stuff. You get a thank you note and stickers, motherfucker, and oh, a fucking compendium and a map, dude. This isn't the richest studio in the world, but they know how to treat their customers. So, as impressed as I am in these ports and the manual, more can be done. We should be doing more. That's all I have to say. And I really recommend, if you're on the fence about the Bioshock collection and you have the room on your Switch, if you have no SD card, you literally can't play this. The download is so big. It's a required 31 gigabytes. Yeah, and the Switch is natively 32 gigs, which doesn't, you know, it's not even, it's like 29. So yeah, you can't, if you just have the Switch and no SD card, you can't even fucking play it. So again, you nailed it. Everything was wonderful except for this one little thing. Just fix it, man. Fix it. Let's be better. But yeah, that's my review of the Bioshock collection. I do recommend picking it up as long as you have a sizable SD card. Hey, thanks for watching. Stick around for the next video. I love you.